So I go to the gym every day, and I know this is going to be 2 weeks in a row, at least, of me just like talking about going to the gym, but whatever. This isn't really gym related. All right, so fucking calm down. I go to the gym every day, and there's this kid there. He's younger than me. I think I heard him say once he's like 28, or maybe I asked him how old he is. And I think he's like 28 years old. Wicked cool kid. His name is Dennis. And so I'm in the gym this morning. We're both in the locker room at the same time. And he starts talking about bullies, which, by the way, October, anti-bullying month. So we're in the locker room together, and he starts talking about bullies and how he's kind of dealing with like this bully at work. And, you know, he's saying like once a bully, always a bully. Like I can spot a bully. I know these people. And this kid, he's in great shape, super friendly. I mean, easily one of the most friendliest persons that I've ever met. He's just nice. He talks to fucking everyone. Everyone at the gym, they may not know his name, but they know, like, he walks in and he says hi to fucking everyone there. So he's telling me that when he was in high school, and he went to high school in Massachusetts somewhere, he said when he was in high school, he was on the football team. And if you ever met him, then you can tell right away, like, he just looks like a football player. Like, I don't know the fucking positions for football players. I know quarterback and I know linebacker. And that's about the extent of my football position knowledge. But, you know, he played football, and you can just look at him and tell, like, he looks like he's fast. He looks like he could throw his shoulder down and throw it into someone. He just looks like he's built to be a football player. But anyways, he's telling me that in high school, he was a football player. And of course, football players normally end up on like that popular list. You know, they're the popular kids in school, especially if your high school is like well known for being, you know, the good football team or the soccer team or whatever. Like those kids, you know, athletic kids. That's just how it is. I don't know. Call me fucking judgmental or whatever you want to call me for saying that, but it's true. Like, you know, you end up being the star of whatever thing, and that makes you the star of your student body. So, but he was telling me that, you know, because he was a senior in high school. I think he said he was a senior in high school at the time, and he's on the football team, and he has this, you know, status of being, you know, one of the popular kids. He went to his school principal, and he asked about starting what he called a pen pal program between the football team and the special ed kids. They have different words for that now. When I was in high school, it was called special ed. Apparently, when he was in high school, it was still called special ed. But he said that he wanted to start like a pen pal program between the football team and the special ed kids, so, you know, kind of help them branch out, you know, and not feel isolated away, which by itself is pretty cool. By itself, on its face, right there, that's a pretty cool thing of him to do. His principal on board right away. His principal was like, that is such a great idea. I love it. Not only does he, you know, kickstart this program of him and his fellow football players of like, you know, talking back and forth with these kids, these special ed kids who are like usually the outcasts. They're usually the kids that are like not popular. You know, not only does he like kickstart this program, but then they're all talking, they're going back and forth, they become friends with each other. And he said that at the time there was a regular lunchroom and there was a senior lunchroom where like the seniors could eat. And by the time he's done, you know, communicating back and forth with these kids and whatever, like the senior lunchroom basically just becomes a handful of kids who just think that they're too cool to hang out with anyone else. And the entire football team and all the people that want to be friends with people on the football team are now hanging out in the regular lunchroom because everyone is just getting along, with the exception of like a handful of people. Again, by itself, that is super cool to start off that program. But then also, he said that he'd go to his football games, and whoever, like, you know, the corresponding pen pal is. So if it like if his number for his football team is number 18, then the person that he's writing letters back and forth to, they're showing up to his football games wearing a number 18 jersey, you know, rooting for them and being like, that's my guy out there, you know. So it just created this whole really cool thing of like he took something that seems relatively simple on its face, and he turns it into this whole thing of like of changing his whole school. And he told me that to this day they still do the same program, they still do the same thing. I just thought that was really awesome. It's like super motivating, and this kid, I don't know his last name. That's what sucks. I only know him from the gym. We've talked about our respective places that we work, so we know where each other works, but and we know each other's names. But he's just super motivational. Like, and he's always pushing other people. Like, not in any sort of like, come on, pussy, fucking do it. He's like, if someone's at the gym and they're struggling with one more rep, he's right there saying, come on, man, you got this. I saw one kid, I was like on the exercise bike a few weeks ago, and my friend sees another kid doing something, and he's doing it, and he's doing it okay, but he's not doing it right. And my friend goes up and says like, hey man, you're doing this good, but here's a different way to do it. Try doing it this way, because I noticed you're doing it this way, and that might not be beneficial to you. You want to do it this way. Like, he's just like that. It's just awesome to see someone like that, who's just always willing to help out someone else. And this kid, it's everyone. It is across the board. The people that I see him help. It is all races. It is all ages, because the gym that I go to is literally all ages. I've seen kids that are still in high school, and I have seen old men and women at the gym, and it spans the whole thing. This kid is always going up to people, and he just wants to help, which I just think is so cool. Like, it's just an awesome thing to me. So, that was 7 minutes, and that's I'm gonna try for something here new on the show to just be a motivational minute, which is not gonna be a minute at all, because obviously that was more than a minute. But yeah. So, anyways, welcome to Adulting with Donnie. Hey, not bad. I've got 2 weeks now. I did a show last Friday, and now today is Saturday, so I just went barely over a week without an episode. Versus the previous, hiatus of like 3 or 4 weeks I went between episodes. But now I'm, I don't know, maybe I'm back on track. Things have been a little weird. Excuse me. Things have been a little bit weird the last 2 months or so, maybe a little more than 2 months. Things have been a little weird with the show. Not even just the show, but my life in general. Nothing's been bad, but just weird. Things have been a little off. But I finally feel like, and I might talk about that a little bit later in the show, but I finally feel like I'm getting back into a bit of a groove. I'm getting, like today I haven't taken a flight lesson in probably 2 months. Like, I think the last flight lesson I took was right near the end of August. And so I missed September. So in the past year, I missed the month of June, and the month of September were the only months that I didn't fly at least once. So again, I haven't flown since the end of August, but today I went and I scheduled my next flight for 2 weeks from yesterday. So, I don't know. I scheduled that and I left, and I thought, okay, I feel like things are getting back to normal for me. Things are getting back into kind of a, like, I don't know, nothing ever feels routine in the last year and change. Nothing has felt like, okay, XYZ, like, this is my day, I do this, and this. Every day has felt at least a little bit different, but I have felt a little bit out of, I don't know the right wording to use. I don't want to say out of place, or I don't know what to say, but I haven't felt like I've been in my element in the last 2 months. But things are starting to feel like they're getting back into that groove. Things are starting to go right back to where they were, of like, okay, all right, we're smoothing out now. It's like I was in turbulence, and now I'm on smooth skies. I'm smooth sailing. So that's good. I was thinking the other day about, like, I've been listening to all these motivational speeches, right? So, like, that gets me, I don't know why, but that shit gets me amped up, right? So, like, I'll be doing dishes. I'm downstairs doing dishes, listening to motivational speeches. Like, oh, yeah, you got to fucking work this dish better, man. Do this, fucking go 100% with everything you do. Make sure this dish is perfectly clean. And they usually are, all right? Ro would argue that there's been once or twice where she's looked at a dish. Then I would counter that argument with, you told me once that I do dishes really well. And that was very motivating for me. That was a self-esteem booster. Stupid shit can be a self-esteem booster. Like, to be told one night, like, she came into the kitchen, she was like, hey, I just want to let you know, you do dishes really well. And I was like, really? And she was like, yeah, you know, they're always really clean. And it's so stupid. But I'm thinking to myself, like, God damn it. I have said like fucking 100 times in the last 2 minutes, and it's pissing me the fuck off, because we were just watching Top Chef, and I complained because this girl said like 4 times in one sentence, and it bothered the shit out of me. I was like, that girl, again, God damn it. Now it's in my fucking head. I was thinking, this girl, I don't mind if she gets kicked off sooner than later, because she is saying the word like way too many times. I'll never forget. I only bring, like, the word like only bothers me that much because when I was a kid, my sister had a friend who said it all the time, who like 4 times, again, 4 times one sentence. She'd say it all the time, and I didn't notice it at first until my sister brought it up, and then I started noticing it right away, that it kept being said. So, yeah. Now, I don't know if I've really recognized it a lot in most people in the last 20 years or more, 20 or 30 years. But watching that episode of Top Chef tonight, I caught it on this one girl, and it just bothered me. And now apparently I can't stop saying it, which is terrifying. I hope that goes away by the end of the night. But skipping ahead in my notes here, we're watching Top Chef, and we just finished, like, this whole like thing is really going to bug the shit out of me because I keep saying it. We've watched like 7 or 8 seasons of Top Chef in the last 3 or 4 months, maybe more. Like, we started with season 17. I'm going to try and stop pointing out every time I say that fucking word. We started with like season 17, and then we watched 15 and 16, I think, and then we watched season 4. I think we jumped to like season 8. We just finished season 10 last night, and now tonight we started season 11. So it's not exactly a show that you have to watch and be saying, oh, I didn't catch last season, I need to watch last season before this season. You can jump in on any season you want to. I would argue you could miss the first 4 episodes of each season if you really wanted to. But I'm watching last season, and this is Top Chef. It's not Master Chef. Like, Master Chef is home chefs, and they're really fucking good. All of these people, like the people on Master Chef, they're really good at what they're doing. But this is Top Chef. Master Chef is like home cooks. These are people who are just, just like Ro, not me. Like Ro, who can make a meal and make it look really good. Out of whatever, like, she could probably do turkey meatloaf, or I don't know, 100 things that she's done for me. Turkey in general. I'm trying to think of something. She's cooked me so many things in the last year that it's hard to keep track of all of them. I can keep track of my favorites. My favorite is the turkey meatloaf, which she just made a few weeks ago, or last week. She made me turkey meatloaf. Really fucking good. And now that I'm trying to think of anything that she's made me, it's just not coming to my head. Variations of chicken. She made me duck once, because I said I never had duck, so I didn't even know duck was a thing you could go to the store and buy. And she said, yeah, of course it is. You can get Peking duck. And she went and made duck, and the only rule was that I had to be the one to carve it, and I did. I think I did pretty good, if I remember correctly. And it was pretty good. I'd never had it before. It was good. Like, if you were a person who, like, came up short on money for Thanksgiving, you could switch to duck. You could switch over to duck and do duck on the cheap. and I don't know that you would taste any difference. I thought it was very similar. We both did like I did. I caught that mute button right on time as I sneezed. So, anyways, yeah, we cooked together a couple weeks ago, and I did salmon and a couple other meats on the grill, and she did haddock inside. So we did like a surf and turf night, and it came out really good. But the list goes on and on and on. I mean, anyone who's followed my Instagram or my Facebook pages can see all of the meals that we've cooked either together or she has cooked for me. Let's see here. American chop suey a few weeks ago. Just a handful. Fuck, I can't even go through them all. But anyway, she could be on MasterChef. Top Chef is people that are like actual chefs in the business. They are working in a restaurant as like an executive chef or something like that. So this show Top Chef, we're watching season 10, and we're getting down to like the top 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, and they'd be given some sort of thing to cook. They'd be like, here, you got to cook X, Y, or Z. You got to cook this thing, and they'd be interviewing these people, and the person would be like, I don't fucking, I've never cooked that thing. And I turned around and I'm like, what? How do you go on this show of all shows? You go on Top Chef. How do you go on to Top Chef and not do some fucking studying before you go on? Why would you not say, boy, maybe I should expand my horizon? I'm really good at cooking steak, chicken, and pork chops. But what if they throw me a curveball and tell me I have to cook alligator, or I have to cook duck, or I have to cook, foie gras, something like that, Why wouldn't you do some studying beforehand? Instead, you're just going, hey, I'm an executive chef at this restaurant that specializes in Mexican food, and I'm just going to go on Top Chef, and I'm only going to cook Mexican food through the entire thing. Somehow, this guy on season 10, he got through most of the entire season cooking mostly pork. I don't know how he pulled that off, but he did, and he even fucked that up a couple times, and somehow skated by. So I don't know. That was just something that like how do you go on any of these shows, any of these like competition style shows, and my mate just jumped out and waved to me, but not with her hands. You can put that together however you want, in your own head. How do you go on any of these shows that you're competing, and you're competing in a specialized area, and you're not even doing any sort of thing to like? There's 18 seasons of Top Chef right now. You've never watched a single season of Top Chef before going on the show? How do you not? Why wouldn't you? You're going on the show just being like, I heard about this show called Top Chef, and I thought that I'd go on. And that would be, I could compete against all these other people and just do my normal shit. There was one season that starts off, I think it was season 4 or 5, and I actually think there's a couple seasons that are similar to this, where it starts off as everyone is meeting all together, they're all getting to know each other, and there's a whole spread of food around, and then they've been there for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. They know they're on a cooking show, and then the judges come out and they say, hey, I hope you've all been enjoying this food. You now have to make us a dish out of what is in front of you. I know Ro very well. I know that in that instance, if she went to something like that, she genuinely would be looking around the whole time. She knows that she's on a cooking show. She genuinely would be looking around the whole time going, okay, what would I make out of what is here? What's something great that I could make out of what's here? What's a meal? What's an appetizer? What's a finger food? What's a thing that I could make out of what's here? So she would kill that competition. But these other people are they're just hanging around and not paying attention to what's there at all. They haven't looked at a goddamn thing. If you put a blindfold on them at the time that all these judges walked in and the judges said, okay, I want you to tell us now what was there, they wouldn't even know. And then there's another like challenge within that show of like a taste test where you have, they're doing, here, try, take a bite of this and tell me what it is. They're blindfolded and whatever. They have to take a bite of everything and tell them what it is, and they're fucking that shit up. One person had a bite of a grape once and said it was an olive. How do you fuck that up? I don't even like olives, and I would know the difference. I didn't start eating olives until like 2 months ago. Excuse me. So yeah. Anyways, that's my Top Chef rant. Rochelle on the comments reminded me of some things that she's made. Pulled pork, mac and cheese. Her mac and cheese is killer, and I genuinely mean that. There are people that will probably kill to have that. They'll bother you. They will. She will. They'll beat you up for her mac and cheese. Fettuccine Alfredo, that was one of my favorites that she made. Steak tartare, her collard greens. Yes, Tony mentioned collard greens. She's made me, she says, Tony, collard greens are coming. She has made me collard greens. I don't know if they're exactly perfectly to what she says that they are. I don't remember, but I know she's made them because I had never had them before. And I was like, oh, these aren't actually that bad. So I had never had them before, so I don't even know why I would have thought that they were bad per se, but I like them nonetheless. So, and she's made me stuffed shells. Those are just some of her comments on what she has made me. So, anyways, before I got into my whole Top Chef thing, what else do I get going on? I want to know if there's any cat owners out there who have gone through something similar to us. I mentioned something to Ro about a month ago, maybe a little more than a month ago, and her response to my comment was, holy shit, I'm glad you said that, because I always thought that I was hallucinating that. And basically it is that I'll be laying in bed at night. I usually go to bed before her. She's usually about 20 or 30 minutes behind me. I usually go to bed before her, and I'll be laying in bed. My eyes are closed, and I'm laying there, and I feel my cat or her cat jump up on the bed and start walking around. And then I'll open my eyes, and there's no cat there at all. I'm looking, and I'm like, I know there was. I just felt the cat. There's no cat there, and this has happened so many times, and it's not even like muscle memory type of thing. Where you're thinking, oh, the cat always jumps up on the bed when I lay down, and I just kind of feel it. Daytime too. You'll just be laying in the bed, and you can feel. If your eyes are closed, I don't know. I haven't necessarily tried it with my eyes open, but if you're laying on the bed and you feel the cat paws walking around on the bed, not a little bit of walking, not like a couple of steps. I'm talking a dozen steps or more. You can feel the cat walking around on the bed, and we are fairly certain that we have a ghost cat in our bed. It curls up with you. Just in the bedroom. Yeah, it'll curl up with you. You can feel the cat curl up on your body, and then you'll be thinking, I've reached out for either one of the cats to pet them, and there's nothing there. And so the other day, Rose says we should name it, and my first thought immediately was Catsper. So we have named the ghost cat Catsper. Catsper, the friendly ghost cat. I don't know where this cat came from. Neither does she. She's never had a cat die in this place. Cats see it too. I certainly haven't had a cat die in this place. We just have a third cat, which arguably might be the best cat. It doesn't throw up hairballs. It doesn't take a shit. It doesn't chew up any food. Rena is now hanging around, looking around for this ghost cat, saying, I don't like it. I want it out of here. They see it too. Yeah, they see it too. Yeah. Because we'll see. I've seen Graphite fucking jump and be like, what's that? What's over there? But I'm just wondering. Right now, I'm wondering: are there any other cat owners who feel like phantom ghost cat steps on their bed? Because this is the only place that I feel it is on the bed. And I don't think that it's something that I'm imagining. I think that there's genuinely, I can feel this happening. And too many times I've been laying there, and I think for sure one of the cats just jumped up on the bed. I reach my hand out waiting for it to come, and let me pet it, and I open my eyes and there's nothing there. So I don't think this is a common occurrence. I've had cats my entire life, and this is something that I've never been through.
The only difference is no sound. I don't hear any purring.
No, there's no purring, no sound, no crying. So again, perfect cat. No noises. You get all the benefits of a regular cat, except for the creepiness of a ghost cat that we don't know where it came from. So, but yeah. Anyways, if anyone has ever had encounters with a ghost cat, please let me know. Oh, is it raining out? I thought I heard something. Yep, it is coming down. Yeah, we're gonna watch a scary movie when this is when this is done. I'm doing this now because my mate just jumped in the shower and jumped out. Now she's out of the shower, and and now we're gonna go watch a scary movie before I go play softball tomorrow.
You play softball?
Yeah, I'm gonna go play softball tomorrow. I forgot to mention that last week. I recorded last Friday, and I forgot to mention that 2 weeks ago, on Saturday, Rose's team that she was playing with, which happens to be two of my own friends, are on that team. Obviously, two of our friends, I should say, because it's our friends. Two of our friends are on that same team, and they didn't have enough players for Sunday, so they
in trouble. They're all our friends now.
Yeah, they all are all of our friends.
Steve's gonna get mad.
Steve's not Facebook friends with me.
He's friends with me.
Yes, he is Facebook friends with you.
That whole team. That's my team.
We have 65 mutual friends, but he's not one of them.
Honey, they're your team now.
So anyways, so they reached out to Ro and said, we're short a person or something like that. And she said Donnie's available, which I haven't played in 5 years. And so she asked me, hey, do you think you want to play on Sunday morning? And I was like, yeah, sure. Okay. So on Saturday, Ro met up with me while I was working to do a little batting practice because I hadn't swung a bat in 5 years. So she says, there's a field on my route. So she meets me up over at this field, and she did some pitching to me while I did some batting practice, and then we switched roles. I did some pitching to her. She did some batting practice, and it went pretty good. It went about as I expected. She's an awesome coach, but it is hard to get back into it. Pardon the parlance, but it's hard to get back in the swing of things. But she's a good teacher. But then I went out on Sunday and I played. I played right field and I caught a ball out there. I was 1 for 4. And then I got up to bat twice and I hit a triple on my first. I hit a triple on my first at bat, which was pretty awesome.
With your half swing, it wasn't even your full swing.
Yeah, it wasn't my full swing apparently. And then I hit a double on my second one. And I ran on that first one when I hit a triple. I ran home, so I got a point for us. So that was cool. I got one. RBI. I got one run in for us.
RBI, honey.
My RBI was 1. So that was cool, and now I'm gonna play again tomorrow, which is exciting. I went and bought some cleats today. I'm gonna make that other team taste these cleats tomorrow.
I get to watch you.
Yes, my mate is injured, So so she's injured. So I was not on the schedule to be playing tomorrow, and she's injured, and she messaged the team, one of the team coaches yesterday, to say, "Hey, I'm injured. I can't play for 1 week, so I'm out for Sunday." And that coach replied back and said, "Is Donnie available?" So
I said, let me ask.
so
Let me ask my
so now I'm playing on Sunday tomorrow again, which is fine by me. It'll be cool.
celebrating.
It'll be cool. It'll be definitely a role reversal because, for the last year and change, almost a year and a half, I've been going to Rose games and watching her play. And then last weekend, or 2 weekends ago, we played together, which was awesome. We were both in right field. She was right field, I was right center, and it was cool to be right there next to each other playing, and
I
and
heard it out and waved.
cheering each other on. It was just fun. But now tomorrow, with her on the injured list, she'll be on the fence like I am, and she'll be cheering me on, which is going to be interesting. It'll be fun. I'm sure every time I come off the field, she'll be telling me all the things that I did wrong.
That's a lie. I ain't messing with your batting. I said, just it's all in the hips.
All in the hips.
All
Yeah.
in the hips.
Uh-huh.
No, you did awesome.
Thank you, mate.
Amazing.
Thank you. How far into this am I? Quite a bit. I only have 2 more things that I really want to talk about.
Movies.
One was, I was telling my mate the other night about, like, I've been listening to all these motivational speeches. I already brought that up in the show. I've been listening to all these motivational speeches, and a lot of them seem like they're geared towards people that are not in my line of business, people that are in something where they have to, like, the how hard they're working is reflective of mostly their income, but their level of success, right? So picture bankers, people on Wall Street, especially athletes, like, talking about, are you giving 100%? Are you out there giving 100% on the field, type of thing? And I love being a mailman. I love it. I think that I'm like 99.9% positive that I found my calling, exactly where I should be. I love the job. I love the neighborhood that I serve. I love the businesses that I serve. All of it is great. But there are times that I wish I had a job where how motivated I am was reflective of how much I make and how successful I am. Yes, there's an argument that could be made that in the post office, I could climb that ladder. I could, move up to be a supervisor in the post office, and then I could become a postmaster, and then I could become like a district manager, and then some sort of, a district vice president and district president, and climb that ladder all the way to postmaster general, right? There's that argument that could be made. A lot of that has to do with I make, my base income right now with the post office is a little over $50,000 a year, and my after overtime and all that other bullshit that goes into it, like, and we're talking gross numbers here, not net, but gross numbers, like, I think that last year was $75,000, 74, maybe it was just shy of 75,000 after all the overtime. And to be a postmaster in Portsmouth, New Hampshire is $80,000 a year. So it's a significant amount more responsibility to make an extra $5,000 a year. It's not really worth it at the end of the day. If it was an extra $80,000, if it was $120,000, if being postmaster for Portsmouth, New Hampshire was $120,000 a year job, then yeah, there's an argument to be made there for working harder to get to that position. There's also the argument, I had a postmaster 2 or 3 years ago that he was 28 years old. He was a postmaster of Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and he's 28 years old, and he is climbing that ladder. You could tell that as soon as he came in to be postmaster, he just wants to climb that ladder and make more money, which is fine. That's great. Good for him. And he's climbing it very quickly because he's, like I said, he was the postmaster 2 years ago, and he's not anymore because he's moved up that ladder. He's probably making $100,000 or $110,000 a year now, and he's climbing that ladder. Great. Good for him. I've never had any. I never really had a job where your your level of motivation to do the job well equaled a better salary or a better position. I've had sales, like I worked at Circuit City, selling TVs at first, and then selling radios, so like car stereos. But I wasn't very good at that. I'm not good at selling things to people. Like I can't even sell myself. I've been doing this podcast for almost 3 years now. I can't even fucking sell myself. Hold on, because you're in the notes. dating
I bought it all.
dating row is an example of being able to of being able to sell myself. I did, I think that I would say that I did pretty damn good at selling myself to Row, being able to be like, hey, here's all the reasons that you should like me. Here's all, here's all the different things that I can tell you about myself that would make you want to make me your mate. The problem is that when it comes to like this show or even just being in some sort of sales job where it's actually an income type of thing, like I can't ask a potential buyer questions like, question, favorite beer, question, favorite movie, question, panties down or pushed to the side. Like, I can't do that. I can't do that.
I asked that question. You didn't ask that. Saturday night. Let's go. Oh, baby, I love you.
I love you too. I've been waiting 3 days to drop that line.
I could hear it.
My last thing for the night was big news that probably should have been dropped weeks ago. Your cousin said LMAO to that. My last thing for the night was big news that probably should have been brought up a few weeks ago. Ro and I moved in together. Yeah, we live together now. Everyone knows. I brought it up on the show a year ago that I was moving into my father's, and I built myself an apartment. I did a damn good, in my opinion, I did a damn good job of building a space out of essentially nothing. It was a fucking basement. It was concrete floor, and there were some walls already up, but I had to add some walls and add doors and try to make this space kind of something comfortable that looked good and could be like a little apartment. It was small. If I remember right, it was like 400 square feet. In total, the entire space was 400 square feet. So it was small, but, for just me being down there, and Ro staying over a couple nights a week, like, it worked out great. It was fine. Took a little longer to put together, and it was never really completely finished. But it was also never going to be permanent. It was basically like, I need to put some shit down here, like a bed and a television and a refrigerator, and it's not going to be permanent. And near the end of August, I had a day of frustration, to put it lightly. I had a day of frustration, and I started looking for apartments. I was, and I was talking to Ro. I was frustrated, and I said, I'm done. I'm moving out of here. I don't want to live here anymore. I'm looking for apartments right now. I'm gonna plan on moving out of here in the next month or two. And it was 3 days later, because we weren't at the time, we weren't staying together all the time. Normally we would take one night off a week where she would stay at her place and I would stay at my place. The rest of the week we would stay one place or the other together. But even on those nights when we didn't spend the night together, we'd end up on the phone for an hour and a half, 2 hours. We'd be on the phone for like an hour and a half, and then be like, okay, I'm going to get off the phone now, and I'm going to do some stuff. I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to, I'd be like, I'm going to watch TV. I'm going to watch a movie or whatever. and then I'd say, I'll call you before I go to bed. And then right before I go to bed, we get on the phone again. We're still on the phone for another half hour, 45 minutes. So I have this moment of frustration where I'm like, I'm going to move out. And it was 2 or 3 days later. I had the day off from work and she had the day off from work. And we met up at her place, which is now our place. We met up here, and she says, let's go for a walk and we'll go get coffee together. So, okay. So we're walking and just kind of shooting the shit about whatever we did the night before because we hadn't stayed together the night before. So we're walking and we're just shooting the shit. And then we sit down and have coffee. And she says, how are you feeling about your living situation right now? I said, it is what it is. I don't like it. I want to find another place. I don't like living there. It's a hassle and it's annoying. There's plenty that I don't like about it. And she said, well, how do you feel about moving in with me? And it didn't really take a lot of thought. I mean, really looking back on it, it's like, it's the most logical scenario because we literally spend every moment that we can together and we still can't get enough of each other. Like I said, we'll be apart for the night and we can't get off the fucking phone with each other. She went down to Virginia or Maryland over the summer with a friend and we're on the phone for 2, 3, 4 hours while she's in Virginia for a softball tournament. Like we can't get enough of each other. So
Can't kick each other out.
we just, yeah, that's right. Yeah, we have little kick out rules now. We have our, yes, please. We have our little mate rules, which I've gone over in the past. We have a new one that is can't kick each other out. Before when I had my own place and she's got her place here, we could get into an argument and one of us could just get in our car and leave and go to the other, their respective place. Now though, we have a new rule that if she ever says get out, you need to leave, then I will leave peacefully, but I'm going to drive down the street to a hotel and I'm going to get a hotel room and I'm going to go up to that room and then I'm going to text her. I'm going to text her the room number that I'm in and I'm going to text her half of the cost of the hotel room. So if the hotel room cost me $200, it's going to cost her $100. And she's going to have to give me that money and she's going to have to come find me at that hotel room. So, but it's been cool. Like that was one of those things that I was talking about earlier in the show of my life feels like it's kind of balancing out now. Because fucking moving is always stressful. It doesn't, thank you, mate. Moving is always stressful. I don't care where you're moving. I don't care who you're moving with. If you're moving in with the person you love, moving away from the person you hate. I've been in both of those situations and it's always stressful. And especially deciding like, what do I take? What don't I take? What do I throw out? So, that's been kind of a stress, but that's pretty much over. I have one thing to get out of my old place in Fremont now. There's one thing left there that I'm getting this coming week, and then I'm done.
Yeah, so if your sister's watching.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, just in case. Yeah, just in case anyone is watching that's wondering how soon until you're moved out. Don't worry, it's coming next week. I'll leave the keys on the mat. But, that was one thing. And then I've got family bullshit going on that has stressed me out in the last 2 or 3 months. So it finally feels like things are balancing back out and I'm in a good space. So, yeah, I don't know. That's about it, though. That's about what I got. We're going to watch a movie right now called Witch Hunt, which is like basically modern day if like the witch trial type of stuff was still going on. Imagine if the witch trial stuff was still going on, but they actually designed a federal branch of law enforcement to deal with the witch hunts. So it's a movie called Witch Hunt, and there's a group in that movie called the BWI, the Bureau of Witch Investigation, or something like that. Witchcraft investigation, maybe something along those lines. Um, so yeah, we're gonna watch that because it's October, so why not? We're gonna watch a scary-ish movie. This one looks a little more teeny bopper, in my opinion, based on the trailer. I like movies. I like my scary movies more like Friday the 13th, or Scream. I love the Scream movies. I thought the Scream movies were great. Saw, not a fan because of the gore, but the storylines, like the plot of the Saw movies, were great. But more often than not, I found myself with my eyes closed and looking away from the TV because it was gross. It was being gross for grossness sake. It wasn't gross like, oh, someone just got murdered. It was like, oh, let's cut open a body just to, shock value these people that are watching this movie. Like the storylines were great, the plot was great, but it had a lot of unnecessary gore. So, but yeah, anyways, we're gonna watch this, and that's gonna do it for me. And there you go. That's my show for the week. All right, go fuck yourself. Bye.